Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On this week's episode, we're covering Gerard, the Hangman Schaefer.
Man, not just the Hangman, but, I mean, this guy was a butcher. Some allege, some even call him a killer cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy grew up pretty normal, I guess you could say. Little things here and there with his family, but turned out to be not a very good person.
Yeah, this is going to be part 1 of 2 on Gerard, the Hangman Schaefer, so we hope you enjoy it. Speaking of which, if you're enjoying the show, leave that 5-star rating. Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you're at. And sit back, relax, and enjoy our coverage of the Hangman.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
Where every week we cover a true crime,
Murder.
Or compelling story.
so sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, 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 and welcome all back to the Old Dirty Basement. I am Matt. With me always is Dave and Zap. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
What's going on?
I am very happy to be here.
We are all happy to be here.
Absolutely.
It's just a great place to be.
Yeah. The basement's nice and cool this time of year.
It is. It is.
It's getting hot out.
Do you have like two? Do you have separate? Like, do you have one for downstairs, one for upstairs?
I have a temperature. You mean like a thermostat?
Thermostat, yeah.
Yeah, I have a don't really use it in the basement.
Okay.
It's kind of steady down here.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know, a little cool sometimes. You might have to turn the heat on.
I mean, it's old and dirty and mildewy and
right.
really weird smelling, but
Definitely.
it's comfortable.
Those Bilko doors, you know.
Yeah. I forgot all about those.
Yeah.
I have a split system on my house.
You're upstairs.
Yep. I got one upstairs, one downstairs.
You know, we got 2 zones in my house, and I wish they would have put the second zone on the top floor because that's the floor that gets super hot.
Sure.
It's harder to, you know, it could be 75 on the first floor and 80 on the second floor.
Yeah,
Heat
my house
rises.
is similar.
Yeah, but that wasn't too thought out by the builder. So which one do we got today? What's the story here?
Ooh, today's a juicy one. Today we are doing Gerard John Schaefer. Jerry Schaefer, a.k.a. Jerry Schaefer, a.k.a. the Hangman, a.k.a. the Butcher of Blind Creek, and a.k.a. the Killer Cop.
Damn.
This guy is also known as a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man. This guy was a suspect in 28 murders. He was only convicted for 2, and he died before any of the other ones could be fully connected.
Wow. Yeah, I never heard of this guy before, so when you brought this one up, Zap, I was really interested.
Where'd you see this?
So, as we have been talking about, you know, really trying to enhance and elaborate and do so much more with these podcasts. After the pizza bomber, I decided to look around for what's new. So I look into things like financial crimes or the white collar crimes.
Right.
I'm big on those. So I started looking into stuff that's not necessarily murders, not necessarily, really just focusing on the compelling story. So I did a search for like split personalities or multiple personalities, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And this guy, while not multiple personalities, popped up. And I guess he popped up. It was maybe I did a search also for like, I don't know, separate lives.
Yeah, double life,
stuff like that. Mm-hmm. This guy popped up. Don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. Yeah. I do understand why now. But yeah, that's how I popped in, man. And as soon as I saw this guy, the first guys I think of are, Chief Darrell and Officer Vince.
Yeah.
This is like a podcast enhancement drug right here.
It is.
Yeah. It's cool.
Man, this poor fucker poor guy ended up being stabbed to death before any of the other murders could be tied to him. He was serving a dual life sentence in Florida at the time.
He was one of those ones I know how Zap likes to reference allegedly. There was a lot of alleged.
There was.
But there was a lot proven also.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Because the guy was pretty stupid.
Dual life sentence. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what Officer Vince would have to, and Chief Darrell, if they've ever come across a cop that did things like this. You know what I mean? I'm sure they've heard
Bad
stories
Lieutenant.
about it. Yeah, Bad Lieutenant
Mhm.
is a great Harvey Keitel, great movie. But even he wasn't as bad as this guy.
No, he just like
He pulled,
extra long,
pulled
extra
over-
long stops.
Yeah, pulling somebody over, and Speaking of which, I have an old dirty mailbag item. We got a nice little comment on our Spotify for the Pizza Bomber episode.
I'm sorry. I love that getting pulled over was what reminded you of the old dirty mailbag. I love that.
Yeah, because these guys have a theory on this. But
Yeah.
So we did that Pizza Bomber, which is an Erie-based crime, and I got a message on the Spotify account from a female named Marty. Looks like.
Are we sure it's a female?
Well, the picture is. So
Okay,
I'm gonna
Marty.
Take a
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
If you go to Erie, you have to swing by Partners Strip Club. So she was telling us to swing by, and if we're ever in the Erie area, I'll check that strip club out. But you guys had a theory on maybe why she wrote the review or wrote the comment?
Oh, why the comment was written? Well, we didn't know if, like, we know Officer Vince patrols that area,
Yeah.
so we didn't know if he was out there, or maybe Marty was hanging out somewhere,
She shouldn't be or
at the
something?
diner or something like that. I don't know, or maybe a late night at the strip club. And Officer Vince was like, "Hey, well, what's going on here?" And maybe he was being cool. Maybe he's like, "Hey, tonight I'll let you go. Everything's fine. Just you got to listen to this podcast.
Leave a review.
Yeah, like it." I want 10, 15 of these cards handed out to all your associates there at the club.
Yeah.
I like to think that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we love promotion, any kind of promotion, we'll take it. Now, Officer Vince is an upstanding officer. I'm sure he would never do anything like that. But
No.
you never know.
But
What's-
it's cool
what's
if you do.
It's cool if you do, exactly.
What's Marty's club called again? The place is
Partners.
Partners. Yeah, look up a lot of good reviews on Partners there in
Yeah.
Erie.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a nice place. Thank you, Marty.
So we appreciate all the support. We appreciate Marty, the nice little comment on
Yes,
Spotify.
thank you, Marty.
Please don't forget to leave reviews, write little notes, and all that good stuff. We appreciate it. So yeah, back to today's story. Real excited about this one.
Absolutely.
The Hangman,
Yeah.
Killer Cop.
Killer cop. So Gerard John Schaefer, Jerry Schaefer, let's say, was born on March 26th, 1946. Exactly 11 years after my old man, by the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He grew up in Nashville, Atlanta, and Fort Lauderdale. Raised in a relatively nuclear family with his father, mother, and 2 siblings. Had no signs of the McDahmer triad, which, as we all know, is arson, cruelty to animals, and bedwetting. Now, we, of course, have taken the triad into a multi-cornered, multi-angled shape, but the triad remains.
That's weird. That's weird that you said that, because I did see stuff like the cruelty to animals. I think when he was age 10, 11, he used to like going into the woods.
He was a hunter for sure.
Yeah, he would like to kill things on his own, like kind of just like kill them and leave them there. And
Well, I think what they said was that he would kill animals that like normally you wouldn't hunt, like to eat. You couldn't eat them.
Yeah,
stuff
that's-
like
yeah.
that. Like almost like for like I think he killed like a songbird. They said at one time, like something that would be. So whether you would consider that, I don't know.
yeah, he's like a hunter, but he was hunting kind of like for his own pleasure. Maybe
But-
would that hit some of the
Well,
triadilo?
go ahead.
But no, I don't know if that would be considered cruelty. I mean,
So
you're just out
I think
shooting
of
and
cruelty as in prolonged pain or inflicting some kind of pain.
torturing. Yeah.
This is just, I'm killing shit.
So it's
I mean,
getting some sort of joy out of that. Would that?
Look, still to this day, I stand in my backyard and I kill squirrels that are coming at bird feeders. And shit.
Right. Right.
I hate those
Yeah.
goddamn things.
Wow. Yeah.
So I shoot them with an air rifle.
Take
I
'em
mean,
out.
that's just killing squirrels.
Yeah. Also, he was born in Wisconsin, much like our boy Ed Gein. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit. Maybe there's something in the water there. I don't know. I don't know what town, but I know it was in Wisconsin.
Yep.
But
They did say that he had a sister also, and I think that he had like his dad really didn't have nothing in common with him, and his dad was a heavy drinker.
right.
That's still not part of the old
No.
triangular motivation there.
Not at all. What did his dad do?
He was a traveling salesman, I believe.
No, they said he had a good job. He made good money.
He was a traveling salesman for Kimberly Clark,
Okay.
which is like a they do
product paper
toilet
products.
paper basically. That stuff. Toilet paper, like surgical medical instruments, stuff like that. Because when I saw the name Kimberly Clark, I'm like, I know that logo and that name. I'm like, what do I know it from?
But
Probably from taking a dump.
as Zap said, the nuclear family with his dad was an alcoholic and womanizer. They said so
Yeah. So
on the traveling road.
that's a blemish. Yeah, look, hello.
But those aren't still, like you said, you're still not hitting
Right.
the 3 dings.
It's
No.
just, hey, for the old man, it's like, hello, sailor. Dude's in town.
Brandy.
He wasn't gutting animals like Dahmer. And,
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So
Just going out killing for fun.
again, though a fisherman, an outdoorsman, and a hunter, there were no signs of in my opinion, of cruelty or a desire to, inflict ongoing pain to animals, except women.
oh,
By the time he got to high school, his preferred prey changed from animals to women. Not necessarily hunting them at the time, but rather just an overall obsession with them and a desire to hunt them.
Yeah, he was into voyeurism at this age, like how Zap said, like the desire for women. He was into like peeping Tom type things. There was also like a lady that lived next door to him that he would, check out. And
pop up on.
Yeah, he would say, she's taunting me, she's teasing me. So he was a little,
He was
a little
out
weird
there.
like that.
Yeah.
I wonder, was he? So we've done killers before where they were raised by whomever mothers that said, like, all women are whores.
Like Waterboy's mom. Remember in Waterboy?
Oh, yeah.
She the devil.
That's right.
Yeah.
That Bobby Boucher's mom.
Yeah.
She's Vicky Valancourt.
Yeah.
She's the devil.
Yep.
So was Foosball. So to his teachers and peers, this guy remained just a typical high school student. And between graduating from high school and going to college, he worked as a fishing guide, actually. But unbeknownst to them, according to Schaefer's own recollections, he was, as Matt had said, a peeping Tom. He occasionally wore women's underwear. He was a habitual crossdresser and a chronic masturbator.
Not bad.
Frequently doing so while strangling
So
himself.
that's bad.
Yes.
Well, these sound like just normal everyday life situations right here.
Dude's just rubbing one out.
Yeah.
But like
Peeping Tom, wore
All
women's
day
underwear.
long.
Nothing
All day
crazy.
long.
Nothing crazy
No,
jumping
no.
out at you.
No, just that part about strangling.
yeah, the
himself.
autoerotic asphyxiation.
Was that in excess? That guy did that.
Michael Hutchins.
Michael
That's
Hutchins.
correct.
Yes, he died like that. They said,
They
I don't
allege
know.
that Robin Williams died that way too.
Is that how
Really?
he died?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't know.
Did he?
No,
He might have. I don't know. I know he died.
he was on the drugas.
He wasn't a drogas.
He was like really depressed. I know.
Yeah, it was like a major. I mean,
You don't know.
you don't know.
Wait, maybe not Robin Williams. Chris Cornell.
No,
Chris Cornell, maybe. I don't
Chris
know.
Cornell. I think they say they found him with the
The
old.
noose around his.
the old
yeah.
Maybe you're getting him confused
Strap.
with In Excess.
No,
No,
I
no.
definitely know Michael Hutchins for sure. But then I thought either Robin Williams or
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell had the old autoerotic.
I think Chris Cornell might have been, yeah, because there was people that say he was set up.
So that's what I think it is. Yeah. Yeah.
That he was on to something, and there's like a big conspiracy.
Oh
about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
They just say depression involved, but I mean that could be any. You don't know how he was found.
Please.
Maybe the family said don't put that out there.
When I see our ratings on this show, I get depressed. I mean, come on.
It
Right.
was suicide.
Suicide.
Bitty bye bye.
Bitty bye bye.
Well, let's let the decadence begin, shall we? On October 2nd, 1966, Pamela Nader and Nancy Leichner were out with their boyfriends and a group of fellow swimmers at Ocala National Forest. As the two had made their way away from the group, Schaefer abducted them at gunpoint. After strangling them, he disposed of their bodies, which have never been found. At the time, Schaefer wasn't considered a suspect.
So 20 years old at this point
20 years old.
and starting out
Start
with
now.
the murder. Okay. That's the first known murders then?
First known murder.
Okay.
That's the first one that he has. Again, he didn't go to prison for this.
Right.
He's just, while in prison, he's like, yeah, fuck it, I did this.
I did this. Okay.
They're linking it up. These guys were out with a group called the Aquaholics.
Yeah, I heard that. Like on a, you can never drink too much water.
Oh, how jovial.
It's a cool band name.
How witty.
The Alcoholics.
The Alcoholics.
There was a rap group called the Alcoholics. I remember.
Were they the Alka?
They were the Alcoholics. That's what they were
Alcoholics.
called. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, Aquaholics.
Yeah,
I don't know. Could you drink? I guess you could drink too much water. Be an alcoholic.
Again, you would drown yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically.
Well, I
but-
mean, your body's going to, at some point, expel it faster than you're taking it in.
yeah.
It's like
Like,
milk. You can only drink a certain amount of milk
Look,
at a time.
you eat or drink too much, your body's going to reject it.
There was some. I forget where I saw it or heard about it. It was like on a radio show or something. They had a contest and who could drink so much water in a certain amount of time, and the person ended up dying.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Like doing this competition. I don't know how many
That's
gallons.
I think you can drown yourself. Like,
yeah.
you can shut your body down.
So that
like Zap, if you over amount of anything is never good.
right.
By the end of 1968, while still in college, he married a fellow schoolmate from Florida Atlantic University named Martha Fogg.
Mm.
Soon to finish his collegiate career, he tried his hand at student teaching.
Probably just had time to do anything else.
So that's the thing. This guy was a chronic masturbator.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that student teaching job was kind of strategic for him, as in where he would offer these women these special jobs. They're like,
Professor.
oh yeah, I trust this guy's like a teacher.
Yeah.
Could be.
And that's what they would tell their friends. Like, I'm talking to my teacher. Oh, your teacher. He has this job for me. Like, oh, it's your teacher. Yeah, I can trust him.
The professor.
I wonder if he had like the suede elbow pads.
The jacket.
The brown jacket
And
with
the pipe.
Yes, precisely. Yeah.
Drove a Saab 900.
Man, that guy would be pimping.
Yeah.
So he started a student teaching gig at Plantation High School in September 1969.
I thought you were going to say Planned Parenthood. That would have been weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you how to not make babies.
This is how you pull out.
That's right.
Masturbation.
So this poor guy was let go less than a month and a half later after the school had received a number of complaints from parents stating that he'd been pushing his own ideas on politics and ethics to their kids. He landed another student teaching gig at Stranahan High School on April 2nd, 1970. Alas, in less than 2 months, he was again let go, with insubordination and lack of knowledge of the subject matter he was teaching cited as the causes for his dismissal. So this guy went in to be a teacher, went to college for 4 or 5 years to be a teacher, however long the hell it took. Doesn't sound like he's doing so good.
Teacher material.
He's not doing so well.
They said he was in high school. They said like a lot of his friends said he was weird, but he was a great athlete. They said like he could have been a pro golfer. He was that good. His dad, like they were in the country club. I mean, they had some cash.
I got a fun fact on that. Now that you brought that up, Matt, I might as well just bring it up now. So he went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School.
Catholic high school.
So you guys are aware of St. Thomas Aquinas in Florida?
It's like one of the best.
It's one of the
football
number
schools.
one sports schools in general, football especially in the country. So both Bosa brothers from the NFL went there. Michael Irvin, a Hall of Famer, Dallas Cowboy, went there. Chris Everett, the tennis player, the tennis great, St. Thomas Aquinas. They've won 115 Florida state championships across sports in the time that it's been at school, which is an insane number.
God damn.
I think it's almost as much as McDevitt. I'm not sure.
Close.
But close. 2011, now this is back then, they were the top athletic program in the country, Max Preps, as far as that goes.
Is that outside of Palmdale?
I'm not sure. I think it's like Miami area,
Okay.
maybe. Football state championships, 2019, 2020, 21, 22.
God
So they
damn.
won 4 state championships in a row for football, which Florida is a very competitive market for football.
Speed in Florida.
So speaking of this guy being an athlete, I wondered about that. You said he was a good golfer.
Yeah.
I don't know if he played any ball back then, but
Well, they said he was an outstanding football player. They said he could have went pro in golf if he. They said because of growing up in the country club, and his dad also belonged to a yacht club. But they said he played golf all the time. Like he would hustle people with golf. He was that good. But they said he was a smart kid. Like Catholic school kid. He had brains, so he just used it for no goodness.
for no good, yeah.
That's a shame. Alas. Such a shame. Well, so this guy got let go of his second gig at student teaching, and this dismissal came at a tumultuous time at Schaefer's life, because not but 2 weeks or so before, he and his wife divorced after a year and a half of marriage.
That's Martha Fogg.
Yeah.
Martha Fogg, she gone.
And what year was that around? He was in his mid-20s then, probably.
So that would have been 1969.
68, 69.
23.
1969, April of 1969. So he would have been 23.
23, yeah.
Would that be the summer of 69?
Brian Adams, yeah.
That's one of Zap's faves.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Brian Adams,
Great
yeah.
track. Great track.
Mm-hmm.
So of the two, because it takes two to tango, but Martha was the one who'd filed for the divorce, claiming that old Schaefer was never around because he spent so much of his free time hunting and fishing. But when he was around, he demanded sex all of the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he said either put out or get out.
Well,
I think is what he was quoted as saying.
I guess coming from a chronic masturbator, it's like, look, I married, so don't have to be doing this on my own.
Right. Yeah.
Why did it end this way?
Yeah. That's only going to go so far.
It's
you
only
know
going
what
to
I
go
mean?
so far. It should be noted that on September 8th, 1969, Lee Bonatti's, an old friend of Schaefer, called him and asked for a ride to Miami International Airport. Not long after, she went missing. Her skull was discovered 8.5 years later in 1978 in Palm Beach County with 3 bullet holes in it.
Little fun fact on that, Lee Bonatti's.
Bonatti's?
When she was a teenager, she was like a neighbor of this
Schaefer.
She was the one that would be changing in the window and kind of.
So he was peeping at her.
He was peeping at her, yeah. And
like George McFly peeped at Lorraine Baines. Lorraine Baines.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now she's married at this time with his Bonatti's is the new last name.
Yep.
And her husband called Schaefer after she went missing, like, hey, do you know anything about where she went? He's like, oh, yeah, she called me. She needed a ride to the airport. And that's the last that I saw of her or whatever. So he did say that he talked to her.
So was he questioned in that?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
And she was like, supposedly had a job lined up with the CIA. She was telling her friends, oh, I got this offer for a job. It's a $20,000 salary to work with the CIA and all this. And they were like, what? What are you talking about? There's some people that speculate that was coming from Schaefer.
Yeah, that was part of his MO.
Yeah, like misleading her and stuff. Yeah.
So that was September 8th. She went missing. On December 18th, so that was September 8th. On December 18th of the same year, 1969, Carmen Halleck tells her sister that she has an appointment with a teacher who says he can land her a government job. She would never be seen again.
And this was his, he would come up to these ladies who were like mostly struggling, had money issues and stuff. He's like, hey, I don't want to tell anybody this, but I'm working for the CIA. I'd really like to give you a job. And he goes to them, I can hire you this week. Come for an interview. I have my bosses and stuff there. I'll take you there to meet them, and we're gonna hook you up. Talking, $30,000-$40,000 a year. You get to travel the world.
Yeah, he would lie. So that makes sense then with that Lee that he probably ran that line on her. You know what I mean?
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This reminds me of another piece of shit I know.
See, again, this was back before the internet.
Right.
Where people are like, wow, man, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't say anything.
This is private. This is between us.
Because I'm in the CIA, so
right.
I told you I'm going to have to kill you until you get in, and then we're all cool.
And then you're good.
They're like, oh, I won't say anything, sir.
So there's this one dude I know.
Mm-hmm.
He finds it very difficult to maintain employ, can't hold a fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fortunate for him that his family has money. So he's been milking off of the teat
Right.
basically his entire life. So if he goes out, he'll dress to impress, like, wear a suit or wear, really, stylish clothes, despite not having a job,
Right.
just with the hope that he's going to attract attention. And if that doesn't work, there's this one time, and this is how this was all brought about, just circling back. One time this dude shows up, he's going to be going out later. He stops at a bar and he's going to be going out later with an earpiece like the
CIA.
like Secret Service
geez.
would fucking wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just the ear thing, like so, just the string,
Yeah, the little string.
the
Right.
thing coming out of it. It just goes into his shirt. It goes fucking nowhere. It's not
Nowhere,
like it's
right?
connected
Looks
to a.
cool, though.
Yeah.
What it does is it provokes some kind of question, thought, anything.
Conversation.
Right. Just so he can hopefully meet a girl.
That's pretty cool.
I guess. I think it's pretty fucking pathetic.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, Matt did that with your check. Then you say when your wife and you were dating, she saw your check, saw you work for the government, you hit it real quick.
Oh, yeah, hit it real quick.
And she was like, what do you do? He's
Oh
like,
my God.
He's like, I can't tell you. I work for the.
Yeah,
I saw
work for the
government. I saw what she say. She saw U.S. government on
Yeah.
there, and you're like, I can't tell you.
Yeah, like, I can't
It's top
tell you.
secret.
Yeah.
So for about a month or so.
It was a couple weeks.
That's
She's not.
hilarious. That is fucking hilarious.
My wife's highly intelligent, so she
Right.
called bullshit pretty much
Pretty
right away.
much got it right away. But
She's like, I
still.
see the car you drive, Matt.
I was gonna say she might. She
She's like, I see your humble abode.
She didn't see not just the payer. She saw how much you're getting paid too. She's like, look, I don't care who the fuck you're working for.
Yeah, she's like, no,
So you weren't. No, I didn't know. Yeah, you weren't running it long then.
no, that was
That is fucking funny though.
That was good though.
it was good. It was good.
All right, so that was the chick on December 18th. Oh, so 11 days later, on December 29th, 1969, 2 kids, Peggy Ron and Wendy Stevenson, went missing after they went to buy ice cream cones across a parking lot at Pompano Beach. Their bodies still have never been found.
Now, they said that wasn't him. He claims those two, but they said that the whole thing doesn't make sense. The cops kind of like looked into it, and they said this is one of his ones that he saw, like, oh, I was in that area at that time. I want to take those two too.
Take credit for it.
But I guess a lot of investigation was put into that, and they were like, there's no way that guy was in that same area.
I wonder if they did the Samuel L. Little trick where they, put some fake facts in there and see if he goes with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You could trick,
that's what,
you could trick these guys, and they're like, yeah, I did that. It was a red. You left like there was a red car. Yeah, it was my car. Whatever.
That's what they throw stuff in there. And then some guys like that wasn't it. Then they're like, oh,
all right, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Samuel L. had a photographic memory.
Yeah, and he was telling the truth on all his shit.
Yeah, he was no liar.
He loved killing.
Mm-hmm. He was. He did.
Well,
he was. Yeah.
In the meantime, after all of those disappearances, the now divorced Schaefer, while in the midst of sorting his life out, he applied to and was accepted into the local police academy in 1970. This is late 1970.
You should have the police academy.
The music playing. Bobcat.
So not only not only did he neglect to mention that he'd been fired from his last two jobs, he went over the top and fabricated work experience to fill in the gaps on his life's timeline. Basically, he stated that he'd been working as a research assistant at Florida Atlantic University.
Nice.
Bobcat.
No. It was a good try.
I know. You only get like maybe one impression.
Yeah.
You're half decent at it.
We're waiting on yours. We're still waiting on mine, too.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
So this guy was, basically he faked his resume information with, information that was familiar with him.
Again, very easy to do.
Yeah, so if you were asked about it, oh, well, shit, I can tell you all there is to know about Florida Atlantic University.
Mm-hmm.
And,
because he went there.
And he could make it up. He could just, he saw these people every day, and he could pretty much figure it out and put two and two together.
Mm-hmm.
This is a funny experience for me. I remember when I was out of college, and I was at my first gig at a firm, a public accounting firm, for a couple of years, and I was starting to look elsewhere. So as I'm looking elsewhere, I have this resume ready to go, and I give it to one of my mentors, for lack of a better word. It's actually a guy we know, his father, who taught at the local college.
Okay.
So, yeah, he was my entire inspiration for becoming a motivation, I'd say, for becoming a CPA.
CPA.
So on my resume, because I worked at a public accounting firm, I put on my resume, public accountant. So when he takes a look at this, he's like, dude, you can't say that. You can't write that. You're not a public accountant. Because, fun fact, the term public accountant was the term that is now called certified public accountant.
A CPA.
Yeah. So there were guys that you would take the test and you would do whatever and you still get your continuing professional education, but it was just called public accountant at the time. So I was corrected like, dude, you cannot put that moniker on your resume because you are not a public accountant. They do not exist anymore. Just because you work at a public accounting firm does not make you a public accountant.
Is that why your profile picks the count? Because you like to count? One.
That's
two,
Count Chocula. That's not count.
It's because it is in fact Count Chocula. It is no.
Oh, it's not the count. Yeah,
no, it's Count Chocula, dude.
It's Count Chocula.
Like Booberry.
Frankenberry.
He doesn't count that.
He doesn't count.
No, he doesn't count.
Okay, I thought I had like
a one
where I put it all together. I was like, it was like a beautiful mind. I saw it coming. I'm like, that's why his profile pic is that.
So close.
So close, but not. Back to the drawing board.
It's Count Chocula for two reasons. One, he and I share a similar hairline.
Okay.
Two, I like Count Chocula cereal.
Oh, good.
It's one of my favorites. Damn, that's so good.
It's delicious.
It's a shame it only comes around once a year.
Yeah. But you do like the Count, right? From Sesame Street?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Count's cool.
A friend of ours laughs like him.
Oh, does he?
Oh my God.
Oh, you don't even
Look
at
this.
Oh, man.
You've heard that laugh a million times.
True.
All right. So, not long after applying to the police academy, he met a young lady named Teresa Dean. This one not only enjoyed fishing, but also enjoyed the frequent sexy time.
See? Mm-hmm.
So she was into that.
She would look. This guy liked to
Keep
hunt.
her.
This guy liked to hunt, fish, and have sexy time.
Yeah.
He got 2 out of 3 with this one, and so they married less than a year after they'd met, which was right around the time he was set to finish up his tenure at the police academy.
She was young, right? She was like 18 or 19.
19.
19. Mm-hmm.
God damn. 19.
But like this was her like dream man. Like the guy was in uniform, held a steady job.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, with no background check at all having been performed to verify his work history, and after a year of training, he officially became a cop with the Wilton Manors Police Department in Broward County, Florida, in September of 1971. Now, look, not for nothing, what would Chief Darrell say about this? Like, now think about this, right? I mean, I get that we're in 2023, right? And you apply to be a policeman, they're for damn sure going to do a deep dive into your background. Like,
right.
But this is back in the 70s, the extreme early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this guy basically lie his way into becoming a policeman? Is that even possible?
Well, there would be a lot of mail involved. There'd be a lot of writing. There'd be a lot of like secretary work to try to even go back. Or some places you could say, oh, I worked there as a security guard. So I think you did some security work. But you can say, oh, they closed, you know.
Look, you could buy 3 burner phones, right? And you could, with those 3 phone numbers, here's my references.
Yeah.
Tom, Dick, and Harry. No, keep all these phones in your pocket. And then when you get a phone call on them, you know it's coming from somebody that's doing a background check. Pick up the phone, kind of, hey, man, my name's, Billy Ray. Hey, oh, yeah, let me tell you about Zap. He's a cool dude, man. Change your voice, whatever.
But that would be all on the computer now. Like you can just look up some name and it'll tell you. I mean, they pay $30 a month, and within 3 minutes they have everything.
It's fair.
Every place that you've ever been. I mean, it's good in theory.
Let's try it.
Yeah, go ahead. Zap's a judge. What the hell? It's that fucking burner phone.
Dude, how the hell is Zap doing brain surgery all of a sudden?
Yes, this is Dr. Lawrence. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in surgery.
Oh, Zap. Oh, what a professional.
But back then you could probably falsify a lot of documents. It's probably easier.
That's what we're saying. Yeah,
just
for
make
sure.
shit up.
You could go get somebody to type whatever you wanted and put a signature on it and say, this is from wherever in Wisconsin, some address you knew. And then they send it there. It comes back. Oh, that closed. I was a security guard there. I was, exceptional. I was excellent.
Right.
But it just, today makes things too easy. It takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just pushing buttons and surfing the inner tubes.
I think all of us have probably lied at some point on a resume back in the
lie.
late 80s.
So lie is such a strong
90s.
word. I think I would go with enhanced.
Yes.
It was. I would certainly overstate.
Mm-hmm.
There were underlying facts that could support it. Like, I was employed there, but I may or may not have overstated my responsibilities and accomplishments at these particular employers. May have. Now that goes back in the day when you're fresh out of school or you're in your very early 20s and you're scrapping and fighting just to make your way up that corporate ladder. Trying to build a life for yourself.
Yeah,
you find ways to do it, and it wasn't that hard then either. I don't think you could really embellish things, but today is not. I mean,
no, they just look
they
at
know everything.
social media,
everything is out there.
Well, no, on the work stuff though, I think we talked about this before. Because of the litigious society in which we now live, and people are so sue happy, when a prospective employer calls a current or former employer, for safety's sake, that current or former employer is only going to answer yes or no, he worked here, and these are the fucking dates.
Yeah, you can't say if you were
that's
good.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they start saying yes or no, or they start saying things like, oh, yeah, he's a shithead. You are wide open for liability.
Show me. You say, hey, I heard you said I was a shithead. Show me everything right here that claims for me to be.
Forget that. I can't believe you called me a shithead. I'm trying to go get money. Fuck you. I'm suing you.
Yep.
That's defamation of character.
Good point.
Slander.
Good point.
We'll get in at the end of this. This guy was very litigious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he a cunning linguist?
Yeah, right?
Possibly.
Is that on Jeopardy? Is that what that's from?
Yeah. Cunning linguist for 1,000, Alex.
Yeah, I knew that.
That's a bad Connery, but I try.
You're getting there.
Thanks.
No, you're getting there. I like that one better than your Cosby.
Do you see the beast?
Yeah.
Having my shites, Miss Moneypenny.
All right. So let's see. Oh, yeah, got the job. Got the wife. Got the new wife who loves banging.
He's living the American dream right now.
Mm-hmm.
But now in keeping with timeline of events. So let's see. He got the job September 1971. On January 4th, 1972, Belinda Hutchins, who'd dated Schaefer not long after his application with the police had been accepted, went missing. Her body has never been found. On February 29th, 1972, teenage Deborah Lowe went missing. Her school books were later found discovered a block from her house. Her body has never been found.
That's crazy that he was dating that girl and went missing. You know what I mean?
What a wild coincidence.
Well, I'm just saying too, like, you would think that you'd be smart enough to, if you're going to be doing this shit, like, strangers, you know what I mean? Don't
So he
basically
dated,
shit where you eat, you know?
yeah, this Belinda chick. So he dated her before he met
His wife.
his now second wife,
Yes.
the horny 19-year-old.
Oh, but still, yeah, I mean, still.
Maybe he
The
was doing stuff
connection.
on the
But they-
sly, and he was
True.
like, "Hey, man."
They said he was quoted too. He would say things to people, or when he was even in the police academy, they said like a lot of people he worked with thought he was strange and weird, and he would say stuff like, hey, no victim, no crime, and stuff like that. And they'd be like, what the hell is this guy
That's
talking
a
about?
Bob Marley song.
Yeah, no victim,
Victim,
no
no
cry.
That's a good one.
That is a good one, yeah.
But they said he liked to talk about sex a lot too at work to like the other cops, and made him feel uncomfortable
Yeah.
because he had a 19-year-old honey bunny.
Wait. He made the other cops feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, because that's all he talked about. They said in a weird kind of way. He'd be like, "Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Hey, banged my wife today. It was great.
Dude,
she did like this weird stuff.
Yeah, man. She's 19-year-old. She's
She's in
all
it.
elastic.
He's like,
It's great.
Like, reminds me of that Chappelle bit. He's like, guys will talk to you about sex, like, no big deal. So I'm banging my wife, right? But let me ask you, voting for? Whoa. Now, wait a minute. That's a little personal here. Let me get back to my story.
Yeah.
I'm banging my wife.
Anyways.
Yeah, he was like that.
Yeah.
Well, back to the life of Schaefer. So we all remember how his work history with student teaching went, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not surprisingly, he didn't fare too well as a police officer either. After just 6 months on the job, in April of 1972, he was fired for the modern-day equivalent of cyber stalking. Now check this shit out. So again, this is back in the 70s. This is 72. So he would pull over every female he could find who committed the most minor of traffic infractions, like failure to use a turn signal, failure to obey a traffic signal, failure to yield, whatever. Just lame shit.
Driving without his phone number.
He would look for good-looking women in cars
Yeah.
while they were driving. They could have been going 20 miles an hour, like you were saying. He just popped the lights. Whoop, whoop.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he'd pull these chicks over, and then using their license plate numbers, he would look up their personal information in the state's database. Now then he'd reach out to them later and ask them if they'd like to go out on dates.
Yeah. That's
Like, are you kidding me?
that's abuse of power there, huh?
Like, Chief Darrell, help me out here. Like,
Yeah.
this is wrong.
He would-
Like, Officer Vince, somebody, anybody.
Mhm.
Like, you can't do that shit.
No, you can't do that.
This is also back in the 70s.
True.
And
It is the 70s.
things were swinging back
Yeah,
then.
it's the
man.
swinging 70s, man. It was just a lot of people having fun, good time. Like
Yeah.
maybe he went on a couple dates from this, but they said his what is the police chief, I guess, called him in and said, hey man, we're getting a lot of complaints. These women. He's like, I'm just doing my job, sir. Just trying to help these women out. It's a dangerous place out there. Like he would go through this whole spiel.
Feel like he's doing it for the
Yeah,
good and all that.
and yeah, like the chief is like, nah, man,
No, man, you're a perv.
yeah, a
Nice
little too
try.
much out there.
Well, what's worse, again, wasn't he married to the 19-year-old sex pot at the time?
Yeah, it's not enough though.
It never is.
No,
It
no.
never
His
is.
chronic masturbation again
Right.
took a hold of him.
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
This guy's libido is bananas, quite literally.
Pretty much.
I wonder what kind of cologne he wore, like musk.
Back then, what was the big one back in the
Sex Panther,
No, it was
In the
the
80s.
Splash.
Cool Water?
Cool Water. No, it was
Aqua Velva, Brute.
Brute.
no,
Fabergé.
not Fabergé, not Brute.
English leather.
Old Spice, man. That came in the little round thing with the little pop, the gray
Yeah,
tab.
What about English leather too?
All
English
of
leather,
that.
maybe.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Avon used to have a big collection that would come. You buy like
I had Avon cologne in a football.
football. Yeah, they had it in
Yeah.
like the Football Hall of Fame. They had like
Yeah.
a little train.
Yeah.
My grandma had them all over.
Oh my
They
dear
were
God,
great.
and Jesus!
She sold Avon, but
Yeah.
and the shit smelled so bad. You could light it on fire though. It was highly flammable.
Well,
I
all
remember
of
that.
All of it was, I thought. Like
Yeah.
it's all alcohol based.
With the Croix de Toilette.
Yeah, all of it, man. Yeah, that's
Okay.
alcohol. You
Yeah, but
can
I know that stuff
start
went up.
fires and
That
shit.
stuff went up like jet fuel.
Yeah. Flammable.
It's for damn sure flammable.
Yeah, he was sporting some Avon. Pretty sure.
So what did you guys sport when we were like? All right, so my first cologne ever was Canoe.
Canoe.
Canoe. Can you canoe? Canoe.
I don't know
Canoe,
that
canoe.
one.
You could buy it at your local drugstore.
I had Polo in the green bottle.
Yeah, Polo Green.
Jacquard.
Was big. Yep.
Jacquard Noir, or however they say
See,
that.
now, all right, now you're talking high school. So that was your first exposure to cologne was the expensive colognes?
My first exposure would have been like English leather when my dad had, I'd splash it on.
Correct.
That's what mine was. I think it was the Old Spice that came with in the white bottle with the little gray top.
Yeah.
And it was like splash, 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 like an aftershave. I think it was more of an aftershave than a cologne.
The Brute. Like we said, Brute by
But I think in
Fabergé.
1988 or 89, I don't know, 7th or 8th grade, I think Polo and the green. My dad had some of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Obsession for Men was also a good one.
Yep.
Obsession for Men was pretty good.
Now, once I got into high school, for sure, that's when the Drakkar, Obsession, Polo, that's when that would
That's
enter.
when it was time to smell good for the ladies.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a goddamn shame. I spent all that money on cologne and I didn't get any goddamn chicks for it.
Yeah.
Damn you, cologne.
I know, right?
And your lies.
Thanks for nothing.
Cologne, alone. It's called alone.
Alone.
Oh my God.
What did you wear in high school? Alone.
Alone. Alone by Fabergé.
Yeah. They took the C out of it.
Oh, that is great.
Oh my God. All right. I'm sorry that was good.
That was good.
So fortunately for this guy, he'd started looking for new employ well before he was let go. Again, this is after 6 months on the job. So his application with the Martin County Sheriff's Department was in process while the whole license plate gate scandal was going down.
Damn.
And he began his job with the Martin County Sheriff's Department in late June 1972. Now, it should be noted that on March 19th, 1972, Bonnie Taylor, who'd been stopped by Schaefer for speeding while he was still working for the Wilton Manors Police Department, went missing. Her body has never been found.
Damn.
So the whole police gig, I think he thought about that. I think that he was thinking that would work out well for him.
Oh my God, yeah.
Much like one becomes a priest or a Cub Scout leader.
I see what you're saying. Like you're in a position of influence, power, able to assert yourself. Yeah, man. You
Not that all, I mean, there's not all like, bad cops. There's not all bad preachers or whatever, but some people get themselves in these situations because it's easy to prey upon.
Well, there was somebody else we covered that was trying to get into law enforcement for that reason, and they weren't able to.
Yeah.
They didn't get accepted or whatever, but they were thinking along those lines, like, I get away with a lot of shit.
And if your mind worked right, I mean, it's really easy. There was no like people weren't on their phones right away or anything.
There's no body cams and
yes,
shit.
there's none of that.
So much shit you can get away with.
So you could have just picked up somebody on the street. Hey, I'll take you to this place or here, or you need help, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
So I was going to say, Zap, I don't know if we did cover it, but there was a time too between all this before the police stuff that he was trying to become a priest because he was raised Catholic.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, St. Thomas Aquinas.
They actually told him he didn't have enough faith. They turned him away from the priesthood, which I thought was kind of crazy. I didn't know. I guess they do turn people away, but I would have thought that's the line of work where maybe not in the 70s. I mean, back then maybe there were more, just like police work. Maybe there were more priests.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God! I mean, it was every family's dream that their son would go to be a priest.
Become a
It's your free ticket, man.
Oh my God! Yeah,
It's your automatic ticket to heaven.
my God! Yeah, if you come from a family who's your kid's like a priest or a nun, you were revered, absolutely revered by all your peers, everybody in the fucking church, everybody in town. Like, oh man, there goes, Mr. Smith.
Do you know his
son's in the seminary? He's going.
You see a lot of that in like small, I think like Steelton community, a small community like that. Usually they had big Catholic families. People had 9, 10, 11 kids. Usually one of them ended up as
becoming a priest.
brother, sister.
Rosman Furniture.
Yeah, Father Rosman.
Father Tom Rosman. He was at my church.
Oh wow!
So he came out of my church and became a priest. That family is basically teetering on sainthood in that town because of that.
You got to be pretty fucked up though for them to go, "Nah, we don't want you." Like you're not. Like if he really wanted to do that,
they're not accepting anybody, not just anybody. You know what I mean?
Just like in general, like what they saw in him, they're like, "Nah, we don't want you." Like they must have seen something.
They saw the devil in him.
Maybe that's what I was wondering. Like, could they tell? Like, this guy's,
see the devil.
The holy water's boiling and shit when he walks in, or what the deal was.
Start going upside down.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, maybe he's not cut out for this, but they turn him away.
Well, no, I think vetting. Then I think from what it's become today, like growing up in a Catholic school, like you see the difference of like I think there was that was like a really important thing. I could see them going through a huge vetting process.
Sure.
Like priest, bishop, because back in the day, I mean, the bishop was pretty much higher than anybody in a community. Back in like the what's that? What era is that? The
Dude, I'll tell you, before that bad shit with the priests, to be clear, the bad shit that went down with the bishops that allowed those priests to get and hid that shit.
Right.
Prior to that, I mean, 15 years ago or earlier, bishops were, they might as well have been the local pope.
yes,
The local
yes.
version of the pope. Like they were
Pretty high up.
untouchable, absolutely untouchable.
Yeah.
Like 14, 15, 16, 1700s, they were the most like
Revered.
Yeah,
the people
they
of
would
the community.
go to and the bishops. I mean, they were a little crooked back then too.
Yeah, just watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they didn't want him. They sent him away and he became a cop.
Good job,
But,
priests.
you know, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Well, let's see. Oh, yeah. So Bonnie Tyler went missing. This guy got a new job with Martin County Sheriff's Department. All right. Well, nothing lasts forever.
Nope.
Hey guys, can you wrap it up?
Oh, that's the sound of my wife kicking us out of here. So I guess
Aw.
that's going to be the end.
Okay.
It's been fun, but we got to run.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week, I guess, with part 2. So before the wife kicks you guys out, do you guys got anything you want to just talk about quick?
There was one thing when we were talking earlier about the early childhood of John Gerard Schaefer. They said that he had a girlfriend in high school and started experimenting sexually with her. She was a Catholic schoolgirl, but she would tell her friends that he was into choking and things like that
Yeah.
at an early age, which is
He was into some rough.
yeah, he
rough
was in the rough type stuff where she was like, you know, he's a little weird, but she liked it. But it was one of them weird kind of things that none of her friends have heard about.
Yeah, I think that's when he was ages like 14 to 17. That girlfriend he had, he would only perform sex with her when it was scripted, almost like a rape type fantasy. That
Jesus.
was according to what she said, I think. It was something like that, along the lines that was his thing, like his turn on. And that's probably the choking and the control and all that shit. So this guy had it from like a young age. And I know there were some things said in his, like when he was 12 and he discovered masturbation and the women's panties and the cross-dressing and that. Now, he did say in an interview that the cross-dressing was something that he did to stay out of the military. Now, that was just like one of his bullshit lines. It's probably,
Interesting.
might have been a lie, might not have been. I'm glad the guy's not alive because
Well, that's in MASH. Didn't that guy? He was a cross dresser.
Klinger. It didn't
Klinger,
work for
yeah.
Klinger. So
It did not work.
Yeah, it did not work. Wouldn't let him go. But he was already in theater at the time. So they kind of figure out he was trying
okay.
to, he was trying to get one over.
right, yeah.
And another thing, back to his early growing up, they said he was really into, like, when he played games as a kid, like a young child, he was always the one that wanted to, like, die in the games, or he wanted to be killed, or when they were playing, like,
Yeah, the
cops and-
fantasy of that.
Yeah, he really fantasized about dying.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Guy was strange, man.
That's awesome. Hey, kids, let's play. Hey, all of my friends, let's play a game. But no matter what, I want to lose.
I want to kill, yeah. I
Yeah,
wanna
he
die.
wants to
I wanna
die.
Kill me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so this guy had a messed up upbringing. Bro, anxious to hear the second part of this show. So
But I don't like, we talked about earlier, I don't think it was that messed up. It was like, you know, the dad drank, he was a womanizer.
well,
which
not
is,
that part, but just his mind state or his mental state, I guess.
Yeah. So he's like, so basically, like, once he's out of school and he's doing his own thing, yeah, his mind was already starting to get warpy.
Yeah.
Real warpy and
Right.
rapey.
Mm.
But yeah, until next time.
Until next time. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Old Dirty Basement. And you can find us on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.